We're almost starting. We're just waiting for the magician to arrive. Hello, boys. Yes, hello. We have still time to come. There's still people that needs to join. Hello, Neil. Nice to have you here, Neil. Sonia. Yes, Elizabeth, Chantal, Alan. Everyone, welcome. We're going to almost start in 1 minute. Get your coffee ready. Get your milk ready. Get your whiskey ready for those that have whiskey. Say hi in the box. Alan, I don't know. I prayed for them. Okay, I just want to see, we are live, we are recording, we're on Facebook as well, and we're going, hey, 7, hello Neil, who's that? Nice to have you here, brother. Great stuff, welcome everyone, welcome to be here this evening, and yeah, we're gonna have fun. Let me introduce you to tonight's topic, to get this ball rolling. You all came here for one person and one person alone. He's the world renowned, let me just make sure that I get the word, it's the world renowned psychological magician and mentalist, illusionist, speaker, and lifestyle coach. Tonight's topic is about the dream, the impossible. Russell Fox. Woo! I'm looking forward. He says mentalism is all about playing and the predictability of human perception. Fox understands this phenomenon better than most, even other mentalists. He has been breaking down, redefining perception since his first breath. And while he displays impressive control when walking over jagged glass unharmed and bending spoons without force, his lifelong expression as mental strength should summon the loudest applause. Fox has shown the labels placed on us by the world being ripped out and rewritten. By News 24, I love this. Is most inspirational, influential, and insane mentalist. I think that says a lot about him tonight. I just don't want to give it away. I think that I need to leave over to the man tonight, the one and only. And I'm so honored. I know Mr. Russell Fox for a long time. And at last we got to the point where we became friends. And hopefully we're going to do some events together. But yeah, let me get and see if Mr. Fox is online. Oh, Mr. Fox is here. He is here. Over to you, Mr. Fox. I hope the introduction was good enough.
Man, it's so epic. I'm down in Cape Town. It's storming. It's cold. Excuse this. It's so that you guys can hear me clearly. How's it to everybody? Chantal, hey, Alan from Magaliesburg. Wow, that's really cool. Sonia from Durbs. And then Alan from, amazing people. Thank you so much. Elizabeth, hi. Neil, how's it? Sonia, awesome. Good to have you all. I'm really excited tonight. Can you believe we've gone virtual? South Africa's gone virtual. My industry's gone virtual. So many industries gone virtual. It's super exciting, and I'm really excited to be here tonight. And I'm excited to have some fun with you. So a lot of you guys kind of might be going, well, what is a psychological magician and what is a mentalist? Well, the reality is this. I have a list of mental issues this long called a mental list, but I will get to that a little bit later. Before I get to that, I want to have some fun with you guys. So I use mentalism to help break through and define and give understanding of how the human perception works and what it's about. So that's kind of what I'm going to do. So I'm going to pick somebody here. I'm going to be asking you to turn on your camera and your mic so that I can hear you and that I can see you. Because believe it or not, I'm going to be doing things through the screen, which means I'm going to be reading minds, creating psychological influence, and all sorts of crazy things through your screen, wherever you are, whether you're in Durban, Michalisburg, United States, doesn't matter. I'm going to be tapping through the screen and doing some stuff with you. So, but before I get into that, I kind of like a lot of people go like, what is the difference between a magician and a mentalist? I'm a psychological magician, and I think that kind of says it all. I use the human mind to achieve what magicians would use gimmicks and props for. And I'm going to give you a very quick illustration of that. I just want to undo my buttons here, pull that up so you can keep an eye on this. Now, I want you to watch this really, really closely. The thing I understand about your mind is I understand how to influence, manipulate what you understand, see, and experience. So I know this, and I want you to watch carefully. The reason I pulled my sleeves up is so that you can watch the note closely. I'm going to fold it up, and when I fold it up, it not only gets smaller visibly, it gets smaller psychologically in your mind. The smaller it gets, the easier it is for me to manipulate what you see. Give it a rub at the back, fold it over, understand, give it a rub on the inside, and experience. And that's kind of how we solve our issues with money in the current situation or situation in South Africa. Nothing between my fingers, just what was or appeared to be a 50 rand note now, or a tenner, now appears to be 50. I'm going to do this slowly so you can keep an eye on this. Watch. The smaller it gets, the easier it is for me to manipulate your mind. And that's gone. The reality is, guys, it doesn't go. It doesn't go anywhere. All it is I've removed it from your experience, your perception, because that note never leaves your sight. It's still there. Thank you very much. Cool. So now I'm going to have some fun with some of you guys in there. Let me see. From East London, from Old Mutual, Howell. Can I ask you to turn on your camera? Mr. Howell. Is it Mr. or Mrs. Howell? I'm not too sure. Are you able to turn on your camera for me so that I can see you, please? I need to see you for this. I want to try something with you at home through the screen. I can't see you for some other reason. And can you please turn on your mic so that at least I can hear you? I need to be able to hear you, please. Can you turn on your mic so that I can hear you? Can you talk to me? Mr. or Mrs. Howell, are you there?
It looks like they didn't accept, so maybe choose someone else.
Okay, not a problem. Lance from Durban. Lance from Durban, can you turn your camera and your mic on for me, please? Is that possible? So that I can see you. Guys, everything that I do is very interactive, and I get involved with people. I'm going to be doing things through the screen. So if I ask you to turn your camera on, don't be shy. We're not worried about what you look like at home. You know, we just want to have some fun with you. There we go. Fantastic. Are you able to angle your camera down a little bit? Lance, how are you doing there? Thank you for joining today.
Thank you.
Are you well?
Yes, I'm well, thanks. And you?
Fantastic. Can't complain. Lance, I want to try and do something with you. You've heard of the term NLP, yes?
Yes.
Okay, good. Fantastic. Neuro-linguistic programming. In other words, communicating in a language other than vocabulary. Make sense?
Yes.
Good.
Right.
So this is what's going to happen. I've got a couple of blank cards here. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to write down a number. It's going to be a 2-digit number. I'm not going to tell you any more than that. And this is what's going to happen. With the action of me writing down this number, you are going to have a number come to mind. I want you to stick with that number. Be confident about that number. Don't change your mind. I'm not going to tell you what it is, other than it is a 2-digit number. Yes? Good.
Yep.
Are you ready?
Yes.
Lovely. Fantastic. Here goes. Good. So right now we have a 2-digit number on my card, and you have a 2-digit number in mind, correct?
Yes, that's correct.
You do. Fantastic. Before I carry on with this, do you feel like I influenced you in any way or form, or do you feel like this was an absolute choice up to you that you thought of the number?
I believe I thought of the number myself.
You believe, okay, that's great. You believe you thought of the number. Now, this is where a lot of people try to cheat me out of this, so that everybody knows your number. Before I reveal the number, what was the number that you felt you had come to mind that I didn't influence you with?
74.
74. And you just say that you thought of that. That there is no way that I influenced your thought whatsoever. 74. You sure it wasn't maybe 75 or something?
No, it was 74.
You're going to stick with 74?
Yes, I am.
74. Dear sir, on my page, 74.
All right, there you go. Yes.
And at no point in time did you feel like I influenced you, correct?
I don't believe you did, yes.
All right, good. So I'm going to try this again. I'm going to try and make this a lot harder for me. Are you okay with that?
Yeah.
All right, good. So this is what's going to happen. Playing cards. I have a deck of cards here, and what I've done is I've reversed one of those. So currently there is one card the wrong way round in the deck. And I'm going to try plant that card in your mind. Now, currently, you have thought of a card. I don't want you to do that. The card that you have in mind right now, I want you to forget about that one. But I want you to hear me clearly, okay? I want you to imagine as if across the table, I want you to imagine spreading a deck of cards face down. So you're seeing the backs of the cards. You can't see numbers. You can't see pictures. The only color you can see is the color on the back of the cards. Have you got that in mind?
Yep.
Good. Lovely. I want you now to your mind, imagine flipping those cards over. So they all flip over. Now you're seeing numbers, pictures, colors, shapes, so on. Yes. Good. What I'd like you to do now is to start scrolling your eyes from left slowly across the deck. Passing your eyes across the deck. Just in your mind, stop right there. You're looking at one card and one card only. Spread the rest away so that you can just see that card clearly. Now again, I'm going to ask you. You have a single card in mind that you're staring at on that table. You've moved the rest away. Do you feel like I influenced you, or do you feel like that was something you did?
But I don't think you influenced me, or you might have.
Even though I directed you, told you it. Imagine spreading a deck of cards across the table. Imagine flipping them over. And I directed you across the deck and stopped you on one card. You do not feel like you were influenced in any way or form.
Yeah.
All right, good. And in this deck, I have one card the wrong way around. The card you are thinking of right now that you have in mind that you thought of. What is that card?
7 spades.
7 of spades. Any reason why perhaps you thought of the 7 of spades? That you feel you thought of? No reason, just the card that came to mind. Because I have a deck of cards here with one card the wrong way around. Only one, as mentioned. That card being the 7 of spades.
Good. Jolly good.
Thank you so much. Thank you for participating. Thank you for having fun. I really, really appreciate it. You can go back. You can turn your camera off and your mic off. I'm going to have some fun with other people in the audience. Please give them a round of applause, and you guys can make comments. Let me know what you're thinking. Let me know if you're having fun. I'm having an absolute blast out here. That's really, really cool. I want to try something. So you've heard of the term reading minds. A lot of people have heard of magicians, mentalists, reading minds, and so on. And it's something I like doing. I like getting into people's heads and trying to read their thoughts. You've seen me influence somebody's thoughts, but I also have the ability of reading somebody's thoughts. I want to go find somebody over here. This is from Pretoria. Is that H.W. Reder? Is that correct? Am I reading that correctly? I'm going to request that you turn your camera and your mic on. If you could do that for me so that I could see you. You should see that I've requested your mic on, and if you can turn that on for me so I can see you, please. Are you turning on, or are you rejecting? I don't know if that's Mr. or Mrs. H.W. Reeder. Your account is at iCloud. Do you want to turn that on for me? No? Okay, that's fine. Not a problem. If you don't want to, that's cool. F. Seeger from Durban. Can I ask you to turn your camera on, please, for me? Folks, as mentioned before, everything I'm doing through the screen. So you're not watching a show. This is interactive. And I'm doing things with you and demonstrating things at home. So if I ask you to turn your camera on, if you don't mind, F. Seeger at iafrica.com from Durban, could you please turn your camera on for me, if you don't mind, please? I'm trying to get some people to do some things with here. Did you reject that? Or okay, rejected that. That's fine. Some people are super shy. That's all good. Chantel from Cape Town. How are you doing, Chantel? It's a bit rainy tonight. I'm going to ask you to turn your cam on. Guys, I really need you to turn your cameras on so that I can do things with you, please. Chantel. Hello. Hey, how are you doing? How's sunny, coldy, windy, stormy Cape Town? Are you snuggled up?
My scarf, can you see here? I'm freezing.
Lovely, lovely, lovely. I'm with the snuggle, got the heater going on and whatnot. So Chantel, I'd like to try something with you if you're cool with that. Fantastic. So this is what's going to happen. It's also going to be with the deck of cards. I'm going to give you a quick demonstration of how mind reading works. You've heard of the term profiling. Detectives do profiling for cases and so on. And I'm going to give you a quick demonstration and a simple demonstration just in terms of how we as mentalist magicians read you to read your mind. You happy with me digging inside your head?
Yes.
That's okay. That's cool. Good. So I've got a deck of cards here. And what's going to happen is I want you to identify that they're all different. Every card is different, that there are not duplicates in any way or form. And what's going to happen is I'm going to ask you in a second. Well, I'm going to run through the deck, and you're going to tell me where to stop. I'll run through the deck. You shout stop. I'm going to cut, and I'm going to turn away so that only you and the rest of the audience can see the card. Yes? Good. Perfect. So whenever you're ready, Chantel, tell me when to stop.
Stop.
Right there. Can you see the bottom card that you cut to?
I can't yet because the camera is frozen on your side.
Oh, is it frozen on my side? Is it working now again?
Not yet. You're still frozen.
Oh, is it still frozen? Seriously?
The Cape Town weather has officially gotten to your part of town.
Oh my word! Is it still frozen?
Still there. Oh, there we go. Okay, I've seen the card. Yes, I can see it. Good to go.
Can I make a suggestion? Is the camera still running?
Now it's good to go. Now it's moving.
Okay, shall we do that again? Because it took a while. You could think I could have glanced at that card while it was frozen. Let's try that again. You can see I'm going to run through the deck. Tell me when to stop. Right there. I'm going to cut. Yes?
Yes.
You happy with that? Fantastic. Yes. Good. So right now you have a single card in mind, correct?
Mm-hmm.
If I associate that color of that card to an emotion, you would immediately start thinking of an emotion associated to that color, correct? Good. Yeah. In your mind, I just want you to imagine sensing that, feeling it, bringing it to the surface in terms of how you would feel emotionally about that color. And looking at you, you're kind of calm, relaxed. If it was black, you would kind of become a bit dark, a bit down, a bit whatever that you associate to that. But you're looking relaxed, very chilled, very kind of content, if I may use the word for lack of a better word. And that would kind of give me an insight that it's accompanying color, which would be red. Yes? Good. Now I'm going to ask you one question. And how you answer that question is going to determine one of two things, and I'll explain in a second. So here comes the question. Listen clearly. Can you picture the card?
Yes.
Okay, now there was a massive pause there. Do you know why there was a pause?
Because it's not a picture.
Boom, exactly. Your mind had to process it even though you could picture it. Your mind had to process whether it was a picture or whether it wasn't. And because there was a pause, it says to me it was a number, which in the mind is not a picture. It's a number. Does that make sense? All right, good. So I know it's a number card. Now, this is what I'm going to do. I know it's red. I know it's a number card. All right. What I'm going to do is I'm going to ask you 2 questions, and I want you to say yes to both. You never use the word no.
Okay.
You only say yes to both questions. One of them is going to be a lie. I'm going to try pick up just by hearing your voice, because I'm going to turn away which one is a lie. Okay? Good. So I know it's a red card, so it's one of 2. I'm going to turn away, and don't ever say no. Just say yes. Answer yes to both questions. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
Good. Is it a diamond?
Yes.
Is it a heart?
Yes.
Okay, good. You kind of got confused there for a little second, didn't you? Because you didn't want to answer yes to diamonds. So that kind of gave it away very, very quickly, but that's fine. It's a heart if I'm not mistaken.
The pressure, I'm getting hot now.
That's fine. So I know that it is a diamond. I know that it is a red card, and I know it's a number card. I want you to do me a favor. I want you to count from 1 to 10 very, very quickly. Go.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
Something really odd happened. I don't know if everybody listening picked that up. As you got closer to the end, when you went above 5, you started speeding up. You actually started speeding up. In other words, you were comfortable on the lower numbers, but as soon as you got to the higher numbers, you started speeding up, which says to me that it is a higher number. In other words, your pronunciations were a lot quicker. You weren't as clear as you were with the lower numbers. So if I'm not mistaken, it is a high number, correct? Somewhere between 5 and 10, yes?
Yeah.
You know what? You actually just told me exactly what it was now. When I said somewhere between 5 and 10, you very, very quickly and confidently, when I said 10, went yep. So I'm actually gonna throw this out the park. It was the 10 of diamonds, wasn't it?
10 of hearts.
10 of hearts. 10 of hearts. There we go. Thank you so much. I appreciate you coming to have some fun with me. And now you know how now you know we get into people's heads, don't you, eh? Awesome. Thank you so much. Enjoy the rest of the evening, and my talk shortly. Chat later. Ciao. Cool. So guys, magicians and mentalists have been very fascinated with the concept of defeating death for many, many decades, hundreds of years in actual fact. There was a gentleman, you might know the name, a gentleman by the name of Harry Houdini. He was one of the first illusionists to come up with a concept of defeating death. And since then, magicians and mentalists alike have been fascinated with the idea of being able to cheat death. They played games like Russian roulette. You've seen them throw swords and knives and do all sorts of stupid things. The water torture chamber, which was Harry Houdini's favorite. They dumped themselves in lakes and all sorts of things to defy death and escape. And sadly, many, many have died. Harry Houdini came up with one of the most amazing illusions. In actual fact, in that point in time, one of the biggest illusions in the history of mankind. He actually created the illusion that he defeated death. He was doing a world tour around the United States, world tour at that point in time. And he was on the 3rd night of his show, and he suffered a tragic industry. He was visited by 2 football players who really wanted to meet him. One of them was super arrogant, and sadly, this is what caused Harry Houdini's injury, which caused his death. He was back in his waiting room before the show, 3rd night of the show, couple of minutes away from curtains opening, and these 2 footballers have the opportunity to meet him. Harry Houdini would do this one incredible effect. He would suspend his body on 2 chairs like these, 2 chairs like this kind of thing. His head would rest here, and his feet on the end, and he would taut his body to the point where he was rigid. They would put a concrete block on him. He was trained, solid abdomen, and one of them would break. Somebody from the audience would break this concrete block over his abdomen, and it would do no harm. So he was trained for this. And one of these football players walked up to him while he was lying on his couch, chilling before the show, and hit him in the abdomen, ruptured his appendix, and that was the beginning and slow, painful death of Harry Houdini. But while in hospital, and believe it or not, that night he still finished the show. But that night, while in hospital, after the show, they rush him to hospital. He comes up with the craziest idea. They diagnosed him. They checked him out. He knew he was dying. He says to his wife, babe, I've got a crazy idea. I'm going to defeat death, and this is what you're going to do. For the rest of the tour, opening night, media have come. It's all done. They won't be coming till the last night again, and if they try, don't let them in. So this is what you do. You continue with the rest of the tour. When the curtains open, you step out on stage and you announce to the audience that I've passed away, and they're going to be a part of the greatest illusion in the history of mankind. And what they are to do is they'll get their money back for their tickets, they'll see another act, and they're to leave the venue and go tell everybody that they'd seen Harry Houdini perform the greatest show they'd ever seen in their lives. And this continued for the rest of the tour, the rest of the year. And on the last night, they welcomed media again, and they announced that Harry Houdini had passed away after the third leg of his tour. And he was the first man to defeat history. Since then, magicians and illusionists have been fascinated with the concept of defeating death. I've come up with my own little game. These are mobile industrial staple guns. Currently, they're all empty, by the way. I'm going to demonstrate that quickly. They are all empty at this point in time. And this is what's going to happen. I'm going to be selecting somebody from the audience to play a game of Russian roulette with me. I'm going to angle my camera down so that these can be seen a lot clearer. I'll bend down so that you can see me while I do this as well. And I want to find somebody in the audience that would be happy coming to give me a hand here. Is this Berenice from Windhoek? I'm going to ask you to turn your, is that Berenice, if I'm not mistaken, from Windhoek? Could you please turn your camera on for me? Don't worry, you're not going to be doing anything crazy. This is all me. If you don't mind turning your camera on so that I can get you involved here. The subconscious. We've heard of the term fright or flight. Fight or flight, sorry. And that is when the mind has the ability of taking over. Things happen in the subconscious. How are you doing there? Are you good? Okay, you're looking about as I haven't done anything yet and you're shocked already. So good. So, I'm going to have some fun with you if that's cool. Are you good with that? Are you good with that?
Come see us.
Are you good with that?
Yep.
Fantastic. How are you doing tonight? Are you good?
I'm good, just cold.
And a little bit nervous right now with these staple guns, aren't you?
Yeah, but shocked.
That is a good thing. So this is what's going to happen, Berenice. I'm going to tilt this up a little bit just for now so that you can see me clearly. In a second, we're going to play a game of Russian roulette. I'm going to be firing these into my temple, into my head, all right? One of them I'm going to be loading with staples, and I'll demonstrate that these are genuine, that they are genuine staples. They are made by a company called, we both fell out, by a company called, where's the top, by Stanley, familiar brand. And what I'm going to be doing is one of these currently is open, and I'm going to be loading that in, and I want you to see that going in. Bernice, is that in there? It's empty. That is definitely in there. Yes? Good. I'm not going to take it out of your view again. And I'm going to close that up. Yeah? And folks, you'll know exactly how these work. And I want to demonstrate that this is loaded. I've got a chopping board. I'm going to quickly grab a playing card so that I can demonstrate that this is in actual fact loaded. Yes? Which one? I can't remember which one I loaded now. Was it this one? Which one did I load? Do you recall? Hey, which one did I load? Do you recall which one I loaded? Huh? Here we go. Boom.
I'm
that's
confused.
The loaded one. Okay, that's the one I loaded. All right, good. So definitely stapled to the board right now. That's the only loaded one. The rest of them are currently empty. Now, this is what's going to happen, Berenice. The mind is an incredible thing. The subconscious mind, it is an absolutely amazing thing. And this is what's going to happen. In a second, I'm going to ask you to close your eyes. So what I'm going to ask you to do is take your glasses off and cover your eyes like this for me so that I know you're not looking. Give me a second. I'll have you do that now. And all I want you to do, Berenice, is listen. All right? All I want you to do is listen. So cover your eyes, and I want everybody who's going to be watching, so they're going to know which one's loaded. Cover your eyes. Keep them closed. Do not open your eyes until I tell you different, and I want you to listen and listen carefully. Yes?
Yes.
Here goes. I'm doing this to prove a point, Berenice. Good. I'm going to stop. I want you to open your eyes for me. Good. Can you see the staple guns?
Yeah.
Do you know which one's loaded? At a glance, do you know which one's loaded?
One on the side.
Not guessing. Do you know which one's loaded? No, I'm not asking
One
you
on,
to guess. I'm asking you, do you know which one's loaded?
the one on my right.
The one that you think that one's loaded?
Yeah.
Do you really think that is the one that's loaded? All right.
Yes.
I'm telling you you're wrong because I know which one's loaded. You're guessing. I don't want you to guess. I want you to tell me if you really know which one's loaded. No, you don't. Yeah? All right, good. So this is what's going to happen. I am now, because everybody else knows which one's loaded. At this point, you don't know. You just guess. So this is what it's going to happen. For a second, I'm going to turn my video off so that everybody there can hear but not see, including you. And I'm going to mix them up just a little bit more until I'm certain. And I need you to listen, eh? I need you to listen clearly. So I'm going to turn my video off quick. Berenice, can you hear me? You weren't saying anything when I was talking to you.
I was listening.
Were you listening? But you weren't answering me when I was talking to you. All right. Good. I'm going to turn off again because you heard I didn't do anything. I was just trying to get you to answer me. So if I ask a question, you must answer me, okay? This is dangerous. I do not need this to go wrong. So I need you to take this very seriously. All righty. I'm going to turn off my camera and listen. Here goes.
Russell, we can't hear you.
Can you hear me?
Okay, now we can hear you now. Okay, now you can talk.
Okay. Oh, did you not hear that?
Yeah, we didn't hear the first time, yeah.
All right, cool. Oh, and my mic, I'm still off. Good, Berenice, listen. Can you hear me moving them around?
Yeah.
Good. I'm going to turn on my camera now. Good. There we go. So, Berenice, do you know which one's loaded? Honestly, no guessing. Do you know which one's loaded?
No.
Berenice, can you hear me?
I'm trying to think.
Okay. I'm not asking you to tell me which one's loaded. I'm asking you, do you know which one's loaded? If you're trying to figure it out, then that means you don't know which one's loaded. Correct. Am I right?
I would say the one on the left.
So the one on the left, that one's loaded. Or your left, that side. This one.
My left, yeah. Yeah.
Your left. You think that one's loaded?
Yeah.
So, do you want me to pick this one up and fire it into my head?
Yep. Not really in your head.
This is the one you think is loaded. One down. There's two more. Which one do you think is loaded now?
The one on the left.
That left?
My
This
left.
one or this one?
My left, yeah.
Your left. So that one. You think that one is loaded? Genuinely?
Yeah.
Good. You just want me to fire myself in the head, don't you, eh? You stick
No.
up you. Not loaded.
Oh my.
Folks, believe it or not,
God.
and Berenice, the only one that is loaded is the one, and the card's loose, by the way, that's left on the table. So what do you think about that?
I don't know how you do that.
She is
Very
speechless.
confused.
Thank you so much for joining tonight. Thank you for having fun with me. You can go pop back in now. You don't need to hang around. Please give her a round of applause. I appreciate that. Thank you so much. I'm gonna send you back in now. Thank you. Cool. So I hope you guys enjoyed that. I hope you had fun. That was kind of just a bit of a demonstration of what it is that I do and the kinds of things that I get up to. I've currently been on tour with a show before lockdown called Experiment. So that's something that will be happening after lockdown again as well, that you can keep your eyes open for. But the reason I wanted to demonstrate all of this to you was this is not where my story began, not at all. In actual fact, the things that I'm doing today, I'm fascinated with, and very, very fascinated with the human perception and how the human mind works. I spent my life in special needs schools. I went to a school called Young Kriel, which is out in Kuilsriver in Cape Town. I was that kid that was a special needs kid in a special needs school in a special needs class. That's how special I was. I was born with epilepsy, asthma, dyslexia. I was declared ineducable, told I'd never read, never write, never work, never drive. I have ADHD and a mild form of Tourette's. I'm allergic to grains, dairy products, food colorants, you name it. I'm a walking circus. Now, why do I tell you this? It's because I've overcome it all. And I've overcome it all only because of the human perception. My understanding of those things were a burden in my life until I realized that they were not a burden. So the point is this, is the inner dialogue, what's happening in our heads is the thing that holds us back from achieving what we want. I'm going to be doing a talk tomorrow called The Inner Dialogue. But I wanted to take you through my brief story. So I grew up in a special needs school, and my mother was the pillar in my life. She was the one that didn't take no for an answer. She was the one that stood by me and encouraged me to do whatever it was that I wanted to do. And that's why I overcame the things that I've overcome, because I surrounded myself with people, or I was surrounded with people that believed in me more than I believed in myself. So it took me many years, many years to overcome it all, but I have overcome it all. I haven't had an epileptic fit since I was 18. But I've been working through things my entire life. Let me just take you back 6 months. And believe it or not, this is the power of the human perception. The power of the mind is the power of the human perception. Up until 6 months ago, I still believed I was a special needs kid. That was me manifesting and reflecting that in my life. The world around me was a reflection of me, and the things that I was trying to do and sabotaging my life was because of my perception about me, not loving myself, not caring about myself, not believing that I could achieve anything, even though I had achieved so much. And let me give you an idea of how much I have achieved already. And Quibus will confirm this. 2 years ago, I stepped out onto a bed of broken glass, 20 meters in length, for 36.8 kilometers and 29 hours for a Guinness World Record. That was an achievement, but in my mind, I was still not good enough. And the point is this, is you are equipped with everything that you need to be who you need to be. The world around you does not define you. Nothing adds or takes away from you. You are who you are before, not after. If I lost the world of entertainment, which in actual fact I did. Since lockdown, the entertainment industry has died. However, we evolved. In other words, we picked up, we looked at other ways of doing things because how we were thinking was different. And suddenly the virtual world came to life and we started producing shows for the virtual industry. So it's your mind that stops you. It was my mind that was the thing that oppressed me. And when I say oppressed me, I want you to understand this. How others feel about you does not impact who you are unless you allow it to be. You see, you are your only enemy and your only worst enemy. Why? Because today, no matter what anybody says to me, I determine whether I accept it or not, and so do you. And for many, many years, I remember my first interview at a school called Vista Nova, and this was the beginning of my downward spiral. We went into, I went through to Vista Nova, which is in Rondebosch, Cape Town, for an interview with the principal and the school psychologist. And before this interview, they had done all sorts of tests on me, EEGs and all sorts of crazy things. I remember walking around the playground with these wires plugged into my head and this contraption on my side that was reading my brain waves and everything. And this was embarrassing as a 9-year-old boy. I remember walking around the school grounds looking like an absolute idiot and feeling like an absolute idiot. After that, this gets taken off. All the results get sent through to the school psychologist. They set up this meeting with my parents, and I go through to this meeting. And I'll never forget what the principal said. I was 9 years old, and for some other reason, adults tend to think that kids do not get things or do not understand them. I need you to understand this. And I'm going to explain something in a minute in terms of how much you impact your kids' lives and how much your parents have impacted your life without you even realizing it negatively. So this is what happens. I go into the class, I get told to sit in a corner, keep myself busy with coloring in or whatever it was. And the principal says to, the principal and school psychologists were there, and the school principal says to my mom, "Ma'am, take your son home and try teach him yourself. He is uneducable. We cannot teach him, and nobody ever will be able to." I'm 9 years old, and those words impacted my life for most of my life until I realized that I was the one allowing those words to impact me. When I say your perception is the thing that governs your life, I want you to understand this. You are physical, mental, and emotional. You are 3 parts. Physical is your body, mental is your mind, emotional is your U-tank, what you use to fill you up. Words have the power of life or death. This is why people will go to a medium or a fortune teller, or they'll hang around the wrong people, and these people will speak bad things over their lives, and it will destroy them because they allow these words to impact their lives. So who you surround yourself with is so, so, so important. And these are things that I started changing over my life as a young adult. Well, not a young adult, so late in my 30s, when I realized that the words spoken over me were the things that were destroying me. And I started seeing the right people and hanging around the right people and cutting people out of my life that were bad for me. You see, if you want to grow as a human being, you have to invest in yourself. If you want to love others, you have to love yourself. If you want to grow, or if you want to grow in the world, you have to grow as a human being. So in spite of everything that I was born with, all of those things that were considered insurmountable. In other words, I would never, ever be able to overcome them and never be able to do anything. Well, let me tell you, I own 3 businesses. I travel the globe. I perform worldwide. I now perform virtually as well. I do keynote, motivational, team building. I've created packages with team building with what I do. It's a tool. What I use, the mentalism side of things, is a tool. And my point is this, is if I can do it, so can you. The point is, you've just got to decide that you want to make these changes in your life. Because if you're going to make the excuses every day of your life that I can't, I'm never going to. People have been looking at what we as magicians do as impossible for years. They'll turn around and go, no, but that's impossible. And then they'll come up with some or other excuses to why we can do it, but others can't. Again, if I can do it, so can you. If I can step onto a bed of broken glass and walk on it for 36.8 kilometers in 29 hours, so can you. If I can set a world record, so can you. If I can overcome everything I have, so can you. Stop bullying yourself. Stop lying to yourself. Stop deceiving yourself. Get off your butt and start making the change, because the only person in your world that is going to make the change is you. Start surrounding yourself with people that believe in you more than you believe in yourself, and that change will come, and that change will start happening. You cannot be hanging around people that don't believe in you and your dreams, because they will crush your dreams and they will hold you back from achieving the things that you want to do. So guys, make sure that if you haven't registered for my talk, The Inner Dialogue, I'm going to be going a lot deeper tomorrow in terms of how your narrative, how this inner dialogue in your mind works, how it is created, what you can do to change it, the things that are in your subconscious that have been ingrained by experiences, by your exposure, your experience, and your upbringing. I'll be diving into that tomorrow so that you understand how to change it, how to change the way you think, how to change the way you do life. You know, the reality is this, and this is something that I believe deeply. Life is not going to get better, but you can definitely get better at life. So there's no doubt about that. So if you haven't registered for my talk tomorrow, The Inner Dialogue, make sure you do. That will be tomorrow night as well. And the link is, Twibus will be sharing the link. It's on the site anyway. But also while you're here, I'm running a really cool special that is only for the guys that have that are part of the webinar, the Meeting the Minds. I'm just trying to find the share. Oh, there we go. The share screen. I want you to see this, and I need to move my mic out the way quickly. And let me open that quickly. So this is a deal that I've got for everybody that's on the webinar, for the Meeting the Minds webinar, and it's a discount offer, and this will last or be available to you and you alone until the end of the year. So this is what's happening. I wanted this to be as easy for everybody as possible. So this is what I've done. I'm taken 30% off all my services on my website. So whatever you go see, shows, team building, workshops, you name it, I'm giving 30% off of everything. So that is the code. So you we will send that to you. That is the code that you use, 30% off dash all services, all SER dash 2020 dash Forge Your Destiny. And just some examples. That is what we call close-up walk around. That is when I walk around in amongst people and do some really cool things in amongst them, and then stage shows as well. Some crazy experiences. Very cool. All the information is on my site, and when you land on my site, we're going to be dropping you the link now so you can go check that out. You'll be able to take a look at absolutely everything that I do. My team building, I do glass walking team building. I do fire walking as well. And that's all available on my website. And that's at least 30% for you guys. And that code, all you will do is, let me take you back to the code. When you go and get a quote, all you do is you drop that code in the coupon area of the contact the contact form, and then I'll know that this is from here. Use the email address that you've used to sign up for this webinar as well, because we will be associating it to it so that we know that you guys were part of the webinar. So you cannot give that away. It is for you and you alone. So I hope you guys enjoy it. Thank you for your time. I really do appreciate you guys joining us tonight and being a part of this and supporting this. And I hope you take something away from this tonight to really make you think. I want to inspire people. Motivation is something that you need to add to your life on a daily basis. Motivation is not something you come seek just from others. Motivation is something that you apply to your life. It's habits. It's what you do in the morning. It's what you're putting into your mind. It's what you're doing to take care of yourself. When I talk physical, mental, and emotional, you got to take care of your body. What you put into your body is what you're going to put out. You take care of yourself emotionally. You've got to take care of yourself mentally. So be very, very cautious and make massive decisions about what you allow in your life in those three aspects: physical, mental, and emotional. And you'll start making great changes. Those people that are in your life that are not good for you, get rid of them. Cut them out of your life. It's something I've been doing and applying, and it's a good thing. It's a good thing. Get rid of people that are not good for you. It's called a boundary. Learn to put it up. It's non-apologetic. A boundary is not for them. It's for you. You've got to guard your heart to change your life. Remember that. But guys, thank you so much, Sonia. Thank you, Graham. Thank you very much, Lance. Thank you. Hope you guys take something good home from this tonight. And again, if you have not signed up for the Inner Dialogue tomorrow, make sure you do. Quibus! Remember, if I can do it, so can you. Stop the excuses. Get rid of the excuses. This man's got an incredible story as well. If you haven't catched his, you've got to hear his stuff as well.
I need to learn mentalism.
We are talking about that course. We are talking about that course. Yeah, we are talking about that course.
But like in everything in life, it comes down to practice, you know. And I think you put in a lot of practice. And I think in the beginning it wasn't as easy, and you probably made a lot of mistakes. But I think you know, it just becomes part of your skill level. You know, the more you practice, the better you become. It's
an incredible tool, like absolutely everything else that we're given in life is, and it's a tool that can impact lives, and I love it. I absolutely flipping love it.
Yeah. So everyone, just keep on the lookout. I know Russell is working on his online course to learn how to become a mentalist. So I'm looking forward. I'm the first one that is on that course already. So hopefully you guys can enjoy it. But otherwise, I need to say bye. If there's no other questions, I need to get ready for Dr. Bill. That's going to come up at 8 o'clock. But you all will be able to see again Russell Fox tomorrow evening. Russell, one thing that I think is I would love to just keep on working with you. I think this platform is good, but I think we need to do another one in the future, then on another platform. I'm looking forward to that. I think me and you need to talk. Now we can take this even bigger. Neil, thanks, Russell, for the entertaining and informative session. Take care. Thank you. I'm on Graham. Graham is also on the course. Thank you, Graham, for joining for that as well. Practice makes perfect. Yes, progress, definitely super fantastic. Thank you. Russell, last words, and then I have to close down.
Yeah, again, and I'm gonna say this: if I can overcome everything I've overcome, so can you. It's time to stop the excuses, get up and make it happen.
Great stuff. Thank you for that, Russell. Everyone, enjoy your evening. This is a goodbye from me. Let's get ready for the next one. Dr. Bill is coming up. Bye-bye.